Good morning everybody, it's Peter here. I might have to rush this through a bit because I have a man coming this morning to take the rest of the Christmas decorations down. Not the decorations, the pole that they were on, which is partly in my garden. I saw him on the green, he shouted across, "I'll be down this morning to do your pole." Thank you. So he might suddenly turn up in the garden. Yesterday I finished the painting, cleaned the brushes, put them away. Lovely. Till I suddenly decided I'm going to start somewhere else. But at least I finished the kitchen and the bathroom woodwork. So I feel pretty good about that, yes. I had a WI meeting Zoom call last night, a monthly meeting. We had a man talk to us about, he's an extra in shows and television programmes. Older guy, but he's often a vicar. He showed us lots of things he'd been in, Game of Thrones. He's been in the latest Bond film as an extra. Lots of television programmes. Music videos. He's done music videos, things like that, background extra. Very, very early mornings. He said you quite often have to get up at 4 and be somewhere, and you can be all day messing about until you go on in the afternoon in costume or not for 10 seconds, and then it's all over and you've got to wait until the end of the day. So it's long, long days. He never said how much money he got for it, but he said... and you don't get travelling expenses, so he said, I can travel anywhere. He said that he lives locally, so he in Sussex, but he says often I have to go up to London. So he said he had to do one in Kent, a video from a music video, and it was next to a big stately, not a stately home, a big home, and there was some land there, and they wanted it to be like on the river with boats on it. So they said 3 men spent a couple of months digging this river out so they could put boats on it and everything. And he said it was a short film, and he said they spent hundreds and hundreds of pounds on it. And he said we did this short film. And he said what it was called, and he said it was never released. He said they must have lost so much money on it. He said this river is still sitting there. Another thing he said we did with the Bond one. Daniel Craig gets on and off an underground train. He said we went down to we were taken down to Charing Cross station, and he said underground there is a part of the station that's unused, and he said trains still can run through there, and he said we were all transported down. He said all the food was taken down, and makeup and cameras and lights and everything, and he showed us the still of him sitting on the train. He said I sat on the train, I got off the train, I got back on it, and he said I had to have glasses on and glasses off so I looked a different person. He said all those hundreds of people on the platform, they're all extras. And he said we had to sort of all stand waiting for the train to come, get on it. And he said, and we were taken up the line and brought back, and then we had to get off it. He said, I did that all day. He said it was a good one. He said the food, always the food when you're doing extras, film extra things, the food's always nice, always very nice. He said, but the thing is, that's all you're doing all day, drinking cups of tea, cups of coffee, and eating. He said, while you're filling your time. He said, if you're a reader, you can take a book and all that sort of thing. He said, but quite often you're called and you stand there. He said, there's one film he showed us, I had to stand in the rain. He said, we were told to take a towel, and he said, when we got there and we did the thing, we realised why. He said, had to wear suits, ties and shirts, and he said, we had to stand in the rain, a crowd of us, and he said it was water from the mains sprayed over us. It wasn't rain, he said it was water from the main, and he said you can see me there. He pointed himself out, and he's dripping, literally dripping with water. And he said we were there for half an hour, 3/4 an hour. He said, because they had to keep doing the take. He said, I was soaked. He said, through, you could feel it dripping down. He said, you just couldn't move. You just had to stand there. He said, nobody said anything. He said, it was the most awful one I've ever done. Must have been worth it for him. So that was my Zoom call, which was quite good. In fact, I nearly missed it because I couldn't get in, and I couldn't find the link that our chair lady always sends. Couldn't find the link anywhere. So in the end, I went into my trash. I picked it up there. And I thought, it's funny, most odd. So I texted her about 7:30 and said, are we doing a Zoom tonight? And she texted back and said, yes, we're on it now. And I thought, well, yeah, it must be. So I was about 5 minutes late by the time I'd found it and got in. But I was really cross. I mean, I must have a look at that and see why it's gone into trash. I made lots of soup yesterday. The girl from the big house around the corner texted me to say that her organic box had arrived, and she put a load of stuff on my car that she didn't want. If I didn't want it, pass it on to anybody else. So because I went out there, she put 6 yellow roses, lovely. She often buys me flowers, yellow roses on the top of the car, and this big bag of stuff. When I got it in, it was 2 of those long pointed peppers, a cucumber, 2 onions, and a lettuce this big, one of those curly lettuces, really pretty lettuce. It looked as though it should have been in a flower arrangement. What else was there? A couple of potatoes. No, it wasn't. That was a salad one. Well, whatever it was. Celery. So, oh gosh, what am I doing? So I thought, right, okay. So I made celery soup. Oh, it was absolutely delicious. Absolutely, it was lovely. Really, it was beautiful. And I did a red pepper and tomato soup. But that was really thick and really strong. I might have to water that down with something because it's too strong for me to eat like that. But the celery was delightful. So I texted her later and said, I've got a bowl of celery soup. I'm going to put it outside your front door now. So I walked round, put a big bowl outside her front door and rang the bell. And she texted me a bit later and said, oh, that looks absolutely lovely. It smells delicious. Do I have it hot or cold? I thought, all right. I said, well, I have it hot. And I said, quite often I do a piece of toast and dip it in. So she then texted me back and said, it's on the cooker now, smells delicious. And about 10 minutes later, she texted me and said, this is fabulous, absolutely fabulous. How did you get the depth of flavour? Text back and said, I don't know, this is the recipe. So I thought, oh, well, that was good. Because, I mean, things that you like and love, other people might not. Because I thought, oh, she might hate it. I hope she didn't pour it down the sink. But obviously they went down quite well. So that was good. So I've got this huge lettuce to use. Well, no, I'll never use it in a month of Sundays. It's so pretty, frilly. It's a frilly lettuce. So that was that. So that was me yesterday making soup in my soup maker. The thing is, when you're doing that, you're finding pots to put it in and then finding room in the freezer. I managed though. I managed. Not a lot in the freezer at the moment, though, after Christmas. Update on my son-in-law. He seems to be doing okay. He sat for quite a long while. Becky was saying he sat for a long while yesterday in his chair talking to his daughter, because she's at home obviously, and found that his legs were a bit puffy. So I said, well, the thing is, if he's going to sit anywhere, he's going to have to sort of put his feet up, and that probably helps the fluid from not, if he's still getting fluid, not running down to his toes, if he puts his feet up. So I said, perhaps that's how he's going to have to sit from now on, because I sit like that. I've got a buffet and I always sit in the lounge with my feet up. I find it much more comfortable and relaxing. So she said he'd eaten quite well. So She said he thinks he'd like to go out for a walk and walk up to the shops. And I text back and said, it's too far. It's too cold for him. If he wants to go out for a walk, just get him to walk a couple of houses up and down and come back. It's too far for him at the moment. So she said, oh, he seems to think he can do it. I said, well, he won't. He's been in hospital for 10 days doing nothing. It's much too far for him to go. So she said, oh, hoping at the weekend I can dissuade him from that. So I had my Zoom call with Emma. She'd done English, and she was talking about the Greeks, Athens and Sparta. And she said they'd had a discussion in school about which city would you have liked to have lived. And they learnt all about what happened in each city, and she decided she'd like to live in Sparta. And I said, oh no, where's Sparta? Well, I don't know, Nanny. So I said, I heard Daddy in the background. I said, where's Sparta? So he said, oh, I'll have a look on the... He said, well, I don't think it exists anymore. I said, is that where Spartacus came from? She said, who's he? I said, oh, well, I don't know whether he was a real person, but it was a film. So he said, oh, it might have been. So he then came back and said, I found it on the map. It's not called Sparta anymore, it's called Spartai. And it's a long way from Athens. We looked at it on the map. I said, gosh, it's hundreds of miles. So that was something to discuss, something I learnt. So yes, you learn from your little ones. So she was telling me all that she was going to be doing. Well, she'd done her maths. And she'd done, yesterday afternoon, she'd done her gymnastics online. She'd joined a group of her classes, and they'd done some stretching exercises. They weren't allowed to do any gymnastics at home, but she'd done some stretching exercises. I thought that was really good. I said, have you been out? Did you go out with Daddy in the afternoon at all? No, she's too wet. And I said, would you go out with Mummy at all? No. So I said, well, you need to get some fresh air. Don't be cooped up indoors for days on end. So I said to Daddy, you need to get her out. Yeah, well, it's raining. I thought, okay. Don't interfere, Granny. So what's that? I've just put a bit of a wash on because it's dry. It's not much wind, so probably not going to get very dry, but at least it'll get a bit of fresh air out there. Have a little bit of perhaps hopefully a little bit of a blow. Saw my friend on the green, and she said that she'd got my her delivery come yesterday afternoon, and my bread's arrived, so I'm going to go and collect that this afternoon. She'll leave it on the doorstep for me, so that would be good. She gets it about every 10 days for me, so that'll be, I wonder if it'll be cut or uncut. It'll be a new loaf for me. I'm just about to the end, so I could have, if she hadn't got any this week, I could have got it down at the petrol station. The petrol station that I'll probably go to tomorrow is a Marks and Spencer's, and they do my bread. Well, I can say they should do my bread. At Christmas they didn't do it because they took the gluten-free, all the gluten-free stuff away, to put bottles of drink, Christmas bottles of drink there. But it should be back now. But she's got it for me, so I don't have to go into the shop and look for that tomorrow. So that'll be good. I don't have to mix with anybody. So get my bread this afternoon. Walk round with the boys. After we've been for a walk, I walk round that way. Had a good night. Didn't wake up in the night. Quite often I wake up in the night. I didn't wake up until sort of when it's starting to get light. You seem to even though you've got dark curtains, you seem to sense, don't you, that it's waking up time. So and then as soon as I stir and start moving around, that I can hear the dogs moving around, so I go and let them out, and they get on the bed with me for half an hour while I snooze. They have a little cuddle. So that's it for today. Hope you all have a good day. I don't know what I'm going to be doing today. I haven't got much planned. I'll soon find something though. I have got a little bit of ironing I could do. I've got a great big the Christmas tablecloth. Oh, it's huge. I might do that. Get that out of the way. It's been sitting there and sitting there. I need to put it away before Christmas comes again. So I might get the ironing board out and do that. Otherwise, not a lot. Still haven't done the plinth in the bathroom. I might have a go with that. Need some glue though, I think. I need to get some glue out to get that back. I think I did it with Araldite last time, which I haven't got anymore. I'll have to see what glue I've got. See if I can med that myself. Means I'm going to lay down on the floor and scrabble about. Do I feel like doing that? We'll see. So, have a good day, everybody. Speak to you tomorrow. Goodbye.